Thanks so much for staying up with us. Tonight, IPS is confirming a student at Arsenal Tech High School was the victim of a deadly stabbing just a few blocks from campus. And now another juvenile, a boy, is under arrest for the crime. Our Logan Gay spoke with a neighbor tonight who believes she witnessed the arrest and shared what she saw. Logan?
Hey, Dustin, Leah Fetz had been keeping up with information surrounding the Tech High School student stabbing all morning. She lives near the location where it happened, but she says she was surprised when the scene expanded to outside her house. Leah Fetz said she and her dad were preparing to finish their Christmas shopping, but before they left, she heard a loud commotion.
And I heard a lot of sirens and they just like stopped. They were very close. And I was like, man, that sounds like those are like out in front of the house.
So she says she stepped outside on her porch and heard yelling.
That's when they had the male subject. They had their gun drawn at him and were, telling him to get down, get down. And when he got down, they took his backpack off of him, put him in cuffs.
She says seeing the officers with the guns drawn made her feel anxious, knowing she had a child inside. She expected this response was connected to the attack that happened behind her house, where a teen girl was stabbed and killed. Monday evening, IPS identified the victim as Annabelle Trio, a student at Arsenal Tech. A few hours into the investigation, police announced they had a person of interest in the case. Hours later, they officially arrested and charged the person with murder. Fetz is a mother. She says it breaks her heart to know that the girl was found laying on the ground in the cold and rain instead of safe in a classroom. This is what prompted her to have a tough conversation with her own children.
I talked to both of them and I was like, I know you guys probably think I'm controlling and I know that you guys get really mad at my helicopter parenting, but it's because I'm terrified because anything can anything can happen at the blink of an eye and at any age.
She says she also feels for the parents involved.
For all we know, that mom, either of those moms could have been trying their absolute hardest and done absolutely everything that they can, but, their kids still made the decision that they made. So, I don't know. It's awful. I don't know. And it's getting younger and younger and it's just scary.
The motive for the stabbing is still unknown. Fetz says she feels for everyone involved, especially around the holidays.
My condolences to the family, to both families, really, because, realistically, 2 lives were ruined today.
Today and forever. In a statement, IPS says the school will have the IPS crisis team on site to assist students, staff, and parents who are grieving this loss and senseless act of violence.
Logan, thank you. Thank you, Logan. This stabbing is the 201st homicide this year here in our city. We've been monitoring IMPD data, and according to the department's numbers, this is the 4th year in a row officers have investigated more than 200 homicides. Now, police say criminal homicides are down 32%. They say that shows a positive trend, but there's still work to be done.
It's not something that's going to change overnight, but the more hands in the pot, the more individuals putting an effort towards the community, towards the city, the better we will see in our community.
When it comes to solving these crimes, community input is key. Police say when witnesses come forward, it can help officers track down the criminals and find justice for the victims and their families. You don't have to give your name. You can stay anonymous when you give police information through Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. Tonight, a child is recovering after a reportedly self-inflicted gunshot wound here in Indianapolis. Police now calling it accidental. This happened just after 8 o'clock on Old Mill Road near Mills Road and High School Road. That's on the southwest side. Police say the child was taken to Riley Hospital and is stable. We're working now to learn their age and how that child may have gotten a hold of that gun.
It's amazing to see how just in a few minutes it can just come down, all down.
Tonight, we are taking a closer look at progress in a problem spot on Indy's far east side. This is Town and Terrace. It's a housing complex that's seen its share of police activity and media coverage. Well, now the city is starting the next phase of demolition, as you see right there. This month, crews will tear down 8 additional buildings on that property. That process started last year, but the work to improve the site dates back more than a decade. After a long legal battle, the city now owns 239 of the units, with 19 left to acquire, and there are plans now in place to one day redevelop it.
A place that says, yes, I'm on the Far East Side and this is the place to be.
It has to be done though. This has to come down. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts. It's beyond remodeling.
Families that call Town and Terrace home get help relocating to safer, cleaner places to live. The goal is to finish up demolition by early 2026, a little more than a year from now. New tonight, tenants living in a troubled apartment complex in Anderson are moving out. That's according to our partners at the Herald Bulletin. We've been reporting on problems at Bingham Square for more than a year. Trash, bugs, and mold. The chairman of the Anderson Homeless Task Force tells the Herald Bulletin 4 families are now in new housing tonight. The executive director of the Anderson Housing Authority says the city paid for families' first months of rent, as well as security and utility deposits. Bingham Square's owners now face lawsuits filed by both the Indiana Attorney General's office and the Anderson Redevelopment Commission. Angela?
Dust and rain from earlier today has moved off to the east, and we're going to get a chance to dry out, clear out, but we're also cooling down. You can see from radar all of that rain off to the east, but you can also see the cooler air moving in now. We're down into the upper 30s after highs near 60 today, 37 in Kokomo and Lafayette. Current temperature in Indianapolis 41. That's the coldest we've been all day, and wake up temperatures colder than this morning in the 30s. You'll need that heavier coat out the door. Watch for some patchy fog to slow us down with that cooler start, and then high temperatures tomorrow afternoon in the mid 40s with some sunshine.
Here's a quick look at other stories making headlines right now. A scary scene in Boone County after a crash involving a Zionsville school bus. A child on board had minor injuries. The driver of the car was trapped and had to be rescued. Police tell us the car hit the side of the bus near 5th and Oak as the bus was taking the kids home. Tonight, a 15-year-old student is under arrest in Cass County, accused of making threats. Officers detained the student before staff could issue a lockdown. Investigators say they did find weapons on the student, but they were not firearms. According to the sheriff, officers found a possible hit list at the teen's home. The Marion County coroner just identified the person killed near a Lawrence restaurant. Investigators confirmed someone shot 32-year-old Jermaine Tapale last night in the area of Pendleton Pike and Post Road. We're working now to learn if the shooting happened inside or outside Don Marco's restaurant. The suspect now faces preliminary charges, including murder. Right now, hospitals across Marion County have temporary visitor restrictions in place. That's because of surging cases of flu and RSV. So if you're experiencing symptoms of respiratory illness, you won't be allowed to visit. And right now, no kids are allowed either. We've got a full breakdown of the rules for the different healthcare systems right now on the WTHR News app and on WTHR.com.